Good evening, YouTubers. Welcome to episode 144 of Shrigleytube TV. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I hope you enjoy what you see. If you're returning, then massive thanks. I do appreciate you coming back to see what we've been up to. Unfortunately, I made some predictions on Sunday evening when I went in about where we'd be up to by Friday, and none of them really came to fruition. But anyway, I tried. I just have to say a massive thanks to my customers for being so patient with me. I am on it. I am trying to get there. Because I'm spending so much time fitting out the dyno cell and other things that need to be dealt with, and kids on half term and all the rest of it, it's really knocking my progress. So I reckon 2 more months and we'll be up to speed. We'll have everything, all the ducks in a row, jobs going out in the out tray, dyno's working, and yeah, it'll just all be a lot easier. Hopefully we can go racing then, and the sun will be out, which will be good. So also massive thanks for the comments that everyone's made. I will reply to all of them at the end of this program tonight. Also, I've screen recorded Cadwell Park Race 1, which was yesterday. So massive congratulations to Brendan Rooney, who was absolutely flying. He drove a superb race and won the Hillman class. And it was a good race to watch. So I've skipped through some of the partially red flags. So I'll skip through that bit. So it's just like 7 minutes of racing, but it's good to watch. Anyway, that'll be on just before the questions and answers. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy what you see, and I look forward to seeing you all next Sunday at 7. Bye for now. Good evening, YouTubers. Just want to wish you all a happy Easter. It's Easter Sunday. Had a lovely day with the family, been fed. And then I thought, you know what, there's so much to do on the list. I need to go to work and do a bit. So I'm on the night shift tonight. I'm going to try and put a decent stint in and get something actually achieved, because obviously tomorrow's Bank Holiday Monday, so I'm not in tomorrow. So yeah, just try and get something a little bit ahead. So when we come in on Tuesday, it's not like head in your hands tackle and just, oh my God, what do we do first sort of thing. So we're going to try. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get that block honed. Obviously the balance is broken next door with Bob, so hopefully they'll have that fixed soon. So I'll get the block honed. I'm going to cut the seats on that head and on some other heads as well. And we might hone other people's blocks as well while I've got the honer out. Just try and get a bit further along so that we can get something in the out tray before the end of the month, and obviously keep customers happy. So that's the plan. And in between all that, of course, we'll probably have another little look at Dougie's go-kart and see if we can do anything with that. But first of all, we're going to hone block. When the honer gets hot, which it does because it works so hard, give it a rest to cool down. We'll cut seats. That's okay, it's still daylight. Got the wrist snapper out. Crikey, it's got some torque, this thing. Anyway, I've just done number 1 cylinder. We're just giving it a start. Took a couple of thou out of it. So at least we can get a piston in now. It's got about 1.5 thou playing it so far. We've got another 2 to go. Maybe 1.5 to go. We'll run it 3 probably this. Obviously these bores are like size, so you can't quite just about get the piston to start. Anyway, I'll give you an idea. So this should read, if we put this one in, should read around about 0. And then the one we've done, I think we've done about 1.5 thou on it so far. Yeah, about just under 2 thou. So we'll carry on. What happens is, as you're honing, you put quite a bit of heat into the liner and also into the machine. So we'll just rough them all first, let it all cool down. Maybe we'll set the heads up and start doing the heads, and then we'll come back to it later on when it's all cooled down, measure it, work out where we need to take the material out, and we'll go back in and hone. Good morning, it's Tuesday morning, the sun is out. It's going to be a good short week this. Well, I say a short week, I'm in on Saturday, so we've got 5 days to achieve something. Ideally, there's nothing behind me, but need to get this engine on the dyno in the out tray. That's the plan for this week. Going to try and focus on that. It could all change, of course, because you know what I'm like, but that is the plan, to get that engine in the out tray. Right, we'll turn the camera around and have a look at where I was up to. Obviously, last time I was here was no, it wasn't. It was Sunday evening. I came in on Easter Sunday evening, and I did make a video at the end of Sunday evening, but it was quite late. and I was doing rather a lot of and basically, so I thought, you know what, I'll erase that. We'll come in this morning before we get stuck in, and we'll talk about where we got up to. So I cut the seats on these two heads. That one's James's. Obviously, because they were already had seats cut, and I was putting new guides in, so obviously I just wanted to remove as little material as possible to keep as much height in the valve in the chamber. So I haven't managed to clean like the 3 angles up that you get with, you know, with this type of seat cutting tool. It's got like 3 angles on it there. So I was just able to touch on the only seat that was good really was the exhaust seats, because these exhaust seats were 1.106 and I made them 1.125. So obviously there was enough material to get all 3 angles. The inlets I just kissed on until we got our seat all the way around. It hasn't touched, you can see the rust still there on the inside. But what we'll do next is, that was just to maintain the height for the valve. There's no point yakking loads of material off, having 3 angles, but the valve sat right the way back, because the further the valve sits back, you really make a mess of the short term, which is important for the air to come round. There's quite a bit of work to be done on that head yet, on the hurdy-gurdy. This is what I'm going to concentrate on now. I've also got to put the strengthening screws in underneath, because that can go back in the box. This is what we need to have bolted to the engine and running this week. Moving on, this was the block. Obviously this was an imp block, not a sunbeam block, so I pulled the liners out, we glued them back in again, and it was a 998 at 72.5mm. I bored it to 73, which is these, which are, it should say 73 on top, yeah. So they're being bored to 73. I've honed it, I've done my plateau honing. So got my ring gap perfect. So we're running about 2.5, 3 thou piston clearance on that, which means it won't be too clacky. You can run them up to 4 thou, but they just get noisy when they're cold, which is possibly the reason why the blue imp over there still got the engine in it and not being sold. So we're going to leave that as it is. I'm happy with that. It's been decked, I've got the block, everything's clean. I just need to brake cleaner it and give it one last final clean. But we need to get the crankshaft balance next door now. On Saturday, was it Saturday or Friday, Bob's balancer wasn't playing ball, so hopefully he'll have been in over the weekend and fixed it so we can get stuck into the crank balance job, because then it can go together. But there's so much to do in the head, I'm not going to bother Bob. I'm just going to get on with the head this morning. Now, Baz, my pal, he's a customer and a friend for many years on the Imp Club job, put a message on the group, on the YouTube comments saying, cut this section of the chassis out and drop the engine down so that it fits under the bodywork. And I thought, you know what a brilliant idea. Why am I even messing about trying to mount it above these bars? So what we'll do is, we'll get rid of this in a minute. And, well, not just yet, we'll do some work first. It'll be like 4 o'clock. We'll put some extra struts in over here to keep the chassis, true or whatever. And then we'll cut all that out, drop it right down, and we'll try and utilise the engine mounts. We'll make some bars or something. The engine mounts off the actual motorbike, that's actually the shock absorber mount. So that the engine becomes part of the integral stress of the chassis car, the kart chassis, just make it all as one. And hopefully it'll be low enough then we can lose a little bit of this. Like I say, I've ordered a new inlet manifold for it, because that's where the Veed valve block goes. So that's where the inlet goes into the little 2-stroke engine. The rubber mounting was perished, so I've ordered a new one. We're going to have to cut the bodywork to allow the carburetor out the top. Not the end of the world. As long as the rest of it stays underneath, I'll be happy. So we have a plan now with the go-kart as well as to how we're going to go about doing it. I just need to keep doing a little bit on it when I get completely fed up with working. Just something to get sorted before May for little Doug Meister's birthday. So I'm going to stop waffling now. Going to get on with this head, get the music going, and at least we had a tidy up thanks to Kit, so things are looking half clean. Oh, I used the lathe as well on Sunday night. I completely forgot about that, because I bought this sprocket which we initially bought for the the borer to speed the gear. You know, when I put the electric motor from the Jones and Shipman on the borer, I was going to up the gearing, up the speed of it, but I was so happy with the way it works, I've just left it, I've not touched it. So we had this spare gear, and it's also on 3/8 pitch, same as the imp sprocket. So I've bolted the imp sprocket to the hub. Oh my word, that was nearly a disaster, wasn't it? Yeah, must make a note. Oh, crikey, we're not having a good do here. This wouldn't have been a good start to Monday morning or Tuesday morning, would it, if I dropped the engine on the floor? Right, so you can see where I'm going. We're going to have to machine a load of this back because we don't need all that material. We'll put a couple of MA or M6 scrub screws in, one of them of which will go straight through to the keyway to drive it onto the axle. I bolted the axle back on again so you can see where it goes. It's got like elongated bolt holes so you can lower it right down. So I've lowered it down about 20 mil. Just give it, hopefully, enough clearance. I don't know quite what we can do with the front, whether we can move a few washers. No, we can't. It's already as low as it can go. We'll see if we can do something at the front as well. Maybe we can grind or do something and just bring the whole kingpin down so that we just get another inch of clearance, because obviously it's hard to find tarmac areas to use these little go-karts for kids, so we could do with as much clearance as possible. Right, I'll stop waffling and get on with some work. Okay, look at the mess I've made of my new workbench area. All nice and clean on the other Friday, was it? So, not wanting to go too massively into what I've done, I've basically opened up the inlets and made them a nice straight run. Sorted the short turnout and just giving it a tiny bit of relief in the chamber for the de-shrouding of the valve. I didn't want to go mental because I don't want to make it dead low compression. I want to keep some compression in it. So, done that. What we'll do next is we'll get some screws in here for supporting it, give it a good brake cleaner, then we'll lap the valves in. But Bob's just been to see me and said the balancer is functional, so we're going to go and get the crank balance now. Right, Bob's fixed the balancer. He cleaned the valve out down there, which made the air pressure work. He's entrusted me somehow to drill 3 holes in the crank webs. I've had a mild education on how it works. So I'm going to press the green button, Bob, and see what happens. No? Oh, no. I'm jumping the gun.
Yeah.
What have I done? I've cleaned the swarf off.
You need to go back.
I've gone back to balance.
No, you got to go file.
File.
Next.
What does this do?
Shows.
Ah, right, okay. Right, so that's where it was. Let's see what happens. Oh, no, no air, Bob.
No air?
Oh, get with the plan. Goes. Oh. Come on. It's taking its time, Robert. Is that a good sign? Gonna wear it out, Bob. We've done a full season by the time it goes in the engine. We've broken it. Have I not ticked something? Oh gosh. Did I get it right, Bob? Oh, out of tow. Come on. Oh. Is it far out? Oh, one end's in. No, it's not. It's not happy today, is it? Right, okay, it's fast becoming a very lightweight crankshaft this because it's got so many holes in it. I seem to have tuned one end really well and completely scrapped the other end. This one's a mile out. That one's good now. Oh, it's getting closer. Right, looks like we've got some more holes to drill. Thank the Lord. Oh, it's just gone out of tolerance, I don't believe it. It was in a second ago. More holes. I don't believe it. It lied to me. It's right on the edge So one more hole hopefully. Right, we're on the flywheel job now. And we are actually making progress. Okay chaps, I'm convinced this will be the one. If you look at the clutch, it all runs nice and true. Apart from this centre, it's a bit wibbly wobbly. Hopefully it's going to be in tolerance, although it's not looking like it at this point. No, must have gone too far. Okay, so I know it looked a mile out, but it was only 549 milligrams, so it's like half a gram. And now it's nearly there, 24.9 milligrams. What is that? Come on, are we in? Oh, it's looking pretty good that. Excellent. We'll take that. Right, let's go and get the engine built. Look at that, chaps. Isn't that absolutely stunning view? An LDV ambulance, the sunshine, and little Bondi there. I've moved the workshop outside, so I thought, make the most of this lovely sunshine. Got a nice view of some Hillmans here, and thought we'll just give these valves a quick lap in here, then we'll give it a full degrease, and then we can start putting the screws in for the support screws, and we can get the valve springs out and start building it, etc. Try and get the head shimmed, in fact, maybe today, maybe not. But at least we've got the crankshaft balanced now, so we can start with the bottom end as well. It's that nice out here. I'm thinking of getting a sun lounger for summertime. Anyway, I finished lapping my valves in. It's very pleasurable outside. Now, you can just see a bit more about what I was saying now. All I've done with the chamber is a tiny bit of de-shrouding, because it's a fairly deep chamber, it's a full size head, and I wanted to maintain some compression. So we should end up at about 11.5, 12 to 1 with this head. Just put radiuses on all the sharp edges, just so that if it did get into a detonation area, it doesn't start nibbling itself. So we'll put these screws in next to support. I've already drilled and tapped them. Just need to put the screws in and glue them up, and then we'll start building the head. Absolutely gorgeous Tuesday afternoon. Feels like Monday, of course, but it's actually Tuesday. I've just been getting a bit of a coat of paint on the sump for the engine and building, so that's in the sunshine drying off. Bondi's got the pleasure of a cover over him. Just I hadn't had a chance to put his sun cream on him. I didn't want him to burn, so put a cover over him, keep him nice and warm. Now it's nearly time to go home. Thought last half hour, I know it's not the right thing to do, but we've got to keep the momentum going on the old Dougie ride. So I'm going to take this outside, lob these two pieces off. What else I'm going to do? I might tack it that side, bring it back in, have a weigh up of where we are, because we need to keep the progress going on this job. Warmest day of the year apparently today on Tuesday. It's lovely here. I've finished wire wheeling and painting my sump, so I've got that for my engine now. So we'll just let that bask for another 5 minutes whilst I tidy up and finish my YouTube video. In here, obviously front of my mind, getting the job out. Second front of my mind is getting Dougie's go-kart looking a bit closer. So what I've done is I thought, where should we go from here? So I've put the extension piece in. We've now got the 28.5 inch wheelbase, which is what I wanted. This side is completely missing. What we'll do next, put the hubs on, put the wheels on, see where it sits off the ground. Then I'm going to get the engine and gearbox, or the engine and whatever you call this, like vario drive, and I'm going to place it with the wheels on so we can see the road clearance as low as I dare go with it, hoping that the bodywork fits over the top. We'll do a test with the bodywork, see what the next set of problems are, and if that works, we'll make some mounting lugs to mount the engine and gearbox, and I'll put maybe one or two, probably two cross braces in there. I've got some steel tube here, luckily. I don't know where it came from, but it was in the stores at the old place. So we've got some bar, we can bridge it, and that'll also give him a good base for his seat as well, because we're probably going to put the seat somewhere around there. So got a plan. Right, had a good day, got the crank balance, got the block clean, head's ready to build, so it's all good. We'll look forward to tomorrow morning. Good morning, it's Wednesday morning. time to get stuck in. Did a bit of preparation yesterday. So we got the sump painted, we got the titanium caps fitted on the springs, which is a bit of a rigmarole to be honest, but I've done that. The crank's been balanced, so we're going to strip that down, dot it all, so we can give it a final polish, and then we'll give this the final clean. Hopefully we'll get a crankshaft in this morning, that would be good. Also, we could potentially get the cylinder head looking a bit closer. We've got a new cam for it, we'll have to do a cam carrier, obviously new cam followers, so everything will be new apart from the block and the head casting, in theory, and the flywheel, but you know, it's been balanced and it's been machined, etc. This is his manifold. I've got his name on there, it's Alan. Silly. Anyway, going to take the carbs apart, make sure they're okay. They look quite fresh, to be honest, look like new 40s those, but we'll take them apart anyway, and we'll do a quick port alignment check, and also we'll modify a gasket at this stage as well, so that there's no encroachment into the port when it's all bolted up. I've measured it all, and the ports are bigger than the manifold, so we're not likely to have an issue, but we'll still have to sort the gasket out. Anyway, we've also got a Pauly engine, one of mine. I'd done this probably, it's got to be 4 or 5 years ago, I think. Looks like it might have been a little bit warm. Well, it has been warm. I don't know exactly what's up with it yet. I'm just going to take the cylinder head off and have a look. I believe it came to our friend Mr. Rooney, and Rooney, fair enough, he rang me, he said, I'm servicing this imp. He said, it seems to be breathing rather a lot. I said, all right, that sounds odd. Anyway, it didn't smoke, but he said he had a few, he wasn't happy with the carburetors. So Rooney sorted the carbs out. The carbs are good now, not dripping or anything, all running okay. But they had a bore scope down it, and he said he thought he could see part of the piston missing. So I thought, right, we need to have that apart and have a look at it. So that's arrived. So we're going to try and get the head off that at some point. Probably not today, because it's my son's birthday today. So we're going roller skating this afternoon. It's like I'm like a part-time engineer, aren't I? I mean, if I was here all the time, imagine what I could achieve. Anyway, it's his birthday, so we're going to do that. So yeah, we'll may come back to work this evening after we've got them to bed and all the rest of it, and try and get a night shift in. Depends how well this morning goes. Right, I'm going to stop waffling, get my crank stripped and polished. Okay, we're steady away on my engine there. Just polished the crank, given it a good airlining, checked all the, well, it's new, so I knew there'd be no problem with anything contamination wise inside the cross drillings. Block's been wiped out, make sure there's no carb rundum knocking around in the hone. You can see the hone a bit better now, I don't know if it'll zoom in or not. No, phone's not as good as it used to be, I don't know why. Oh, there you go. So you can see the crisscross there. So I've got all that lined up. I've got my new rods. These need a wire wheel. These are brand new rods out of a 930, but obviously normally they've got an 11/16 bush in them, so we have them rebushed to take a 5/8 pin, which is what the Maynard pistons run. So the advantage of this, using this rod, is the little end is slightly wider, and if you look at the inside of a Maynard piston, it's quite wide, so that suits it perfect. The standard imp rod is just a little bit floaty. It doesn't bother them, but yeah. So these rods, when they're in wire wheeled, will just give them a quick balance, make sure they're all as good as I think they are. New set of bolts, new bearings, and hopefully we can get a short motor going together. But my pal Malcolm from around the road has just messaged me to say, I saw that you'd blasted my water pump housing, can I come and collect it? So I looked at his box of bits, and I just realised, I think I'm right in saying these are the seals, and they're like spring loaded, like that. So that diameter sits in the housing, and that's like a carbon ring, and that rubs up against this face here. You can see it's all grooved. And this one is like undercut. I think I'm right in saying that's what's happened to it. Anyway, I can't see any other way how it works. So what we're going to do is going to put this in the lathe now. I'm going to face up these two faces for him, so that it's got the best chance of sealing when he puts it all together. So I'll see if we can get that done before he arrives. He's due to arrive very... Right, I don't want to take too much off it because all the material I remove from there, it'll lose its preload on its spring. So what we'll do is we'll get the seal now and see if it's got something to run against. If it has, we'll leave it be. Right, I think this has got a fighting chance now. I've refaced that one there, so that can run against that quite happily. And this one, I didn't take quite as much off it because it was really badly corroded, but it's got a face now for that carbon ring to sit against. So I'm not that well up on water pumps. In fact, it's really shameful to say, but in my, oh my God, how many years is it? I was 13 when I got me imp, so, and I'm 49. Oh my God, I can't do that. Yeah, so in my 36 years of imp work, or messing with imps, should I say, I've never actually took a water pump apart. I just buy them and put them in. So it's been quite an eye-opener this, but I assume that these rubbers sit in these housings here, and then that creates a preload that obviously holds it all together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to warm these housings up with a blowtorch, and I put some grey glue on that diameter there, and I'm going to push them in gently so that we can check when we come to put the two housings together that there's going to be some pinch, because obviously I've removed material off these two faces. We need to make sure there's enough pinch to hold it all together or the pump won't work. So that's what we'll do. I think we've got to put bearings in as well at this stage, and then we'll go from there. Okay chaps, we just pushed the seals in the housing. I warmed them up, the seals dropped in lovely. I used the grey glue because not only is it acts as a lubricant, so it doesn't bind up, it also holds them in and stops them from leaking. So I've done both those. My friend Malcolm was turning up at 10 o'clock. Bang on time, Malk. The only problem I've got, Malcolm, is these aren't. Oh, this isn't your work attire. This is like Sunday best.
No. This is my workshop stuff.
Oh, is it?
If you examine my trousers carefully, they're very dirty.
Oh, are they? Do you wear a shirt and tie normally, do you?
No. I used to once upon a time, but no longer, thankfully.
Oh, right, brilliant. Well, of course, you're a retired gentleman now, aren't you?
Yeah, well, I'm retired. I don't know about being a gentleman.
A man of leisure.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
But it's warmed up, Mark. We've just been having a chat about the weather, haven't we? We said it's actually getting to the temperature where you feel like going in the garage and doing a bit.
Yeah,
so.
Well, when you're a retired person, you choose your moment when you go into
absolutely.
a cold garage.
If you've got a log fire in the house, you know, it's where do you want to be, you know?
Yeah.
I know where I'd want to be. Yeah. Anyway, so what we've just done is me and Malcolm done a little test here. We basically, before we put the bearings in, we put the remachined impeller shaft back in, and then brought the two casings together, and we could only get them to within like 1/4 of an inch of each other, which means there's still some preload in the bearing, in the seals, so we know it's got half a chance of sealing. So we're just having a debate whether to put some lubrication on here, just like, I don't know, some like slippy stuff.
There is a gasket to go on as well, isn't
Yep,
there?
I've got the gasket.
Yeah.
What we're going to do is we're going to put a bit of lube on this, put the gasket on, we're going to put some of the grey glue on the gasket. I'm going to put 4 short bolts in, Malk, and then Malk's already thought of this because I did just discuss it with him. When Malcolm gets home, he's just going to undo 2 bolts at a time.
Yeah.
Put it on the clamp when he's, obviously you've got to paint the metal bit behind it. I'm sure that's well within your.
Yeah.
I've got a clean one for you somewhere. I've just got to find it, and then and then you should be good to go, Malk. You should be.
Yeah. Well, this is the final bit. This is the final bit of putting your engine. I bought your stealth engine, if you remember.
Oh, yeah, off Jeff. Yeah.
And this is the final bit of assembly, really, before it's ready to go in.
Excellent, excellent. Well,
sadly, the car needs painting before I can put the engine in. So,
which is this the G15?
It's a G15, yeah. Which is a hill, sort of a lightweight hill climb sprint car.
Oh, yeah. That is fast, that, with the 1200 in it.
Yeah.
Well, I'll come round for the fire up if you don't mind, because you're in down the road, aren't you?
Yeah, 15 minutes away.
15 minutes, right. Well, Mal, over the road there, there's a paint shop opening. And the guy that runs it, he's called Steve. He seems really nice, and he's going to be busy for a week or two, or a few months probably, but... You know, we might be able to get him to.
Yeah, well, there's no rush. I mean, I'm taking my time putting this all together.
Right. Well, as long as you're enjoying yourself.
Yeah.
We could always just do it as like a rat look, you know, and just go out in with no
For
paint
me,
on.
it's called occupational therapy.
Yeah, well, you just like to be busy, don't you?
Yeah.
Because you've done rallying in the past, haven't you? I've had a few pictures from you of your TR8.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked good, that.
Oh, I've had all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
My last one was an Escort Cosworth.
Yeah.
Should have kept, really, shouldn't I?
No, you're better off with your imps. You can lift the engine out easier. Plus, I would never have met you if you kept the Escort Cosworth. So there you go.
Yeah.
You'd never have starred on Shrigleytube. Brill.
I'm just wondering where I'll spend the fees that you're providing for Shrigleytube TV.
Oh crikey, yeah, just invoice me and we'll
You'll ignore it.
Do you charge by the minute or per the half hour?
Yes,
per
something
half
like
hour,
that.
by the minute. Now we're allowed to talk about your history, your job, Malcolm.
Yeah, I feel like.
It's because it's a bit of a small circle. This is what a small world it is. Now Malcolm's not lived in Manchester or Cheshire for a long time. You've been all over the world, haven't you?
Yeah.
And you were a trainer for Olympic runners.
Yeah, I mean, part of my job was preparing athletes for things like Olympic Games.
Yeah.
I did 13 Olympic Games, participated in. First one in 1968 and the last one in 2016.
Wow.
So I prepared athletes for things like that, for World Championships, for European Championships and so on.
Yeah. Because the link I was going to mention was I went to school with a lad who was a really good runner called Darren Campbell.
Yeah.
And you tutored him like...
Yeah, Darren came under my wing at one stage in his life.
Yeah.
I was in South Wales at the time.
Yeah.
As national coach for Wales.
Wow.
And Darren he actually came and lived with me for about 6 months because
Did he
was
really?
in a bit of distress.
Right.
I won't go into it too much, but he was in a bit of distress from his so-called friends in Manchester. So
Right.
he came down to South Wales, and he's down there now. He's actually started quite a good business on supplements.
Oh, right.
Nutrition supplements.
Yeah. No way. Because he had a brother called Marlon as well. I remember Marlon. There was, I think possibly a couple of years older than me. I just remember them from school, you know.
Yeah.
They were quite a notorious gang, you know.
Yeah. But strangely, his sister was very academic and.
Was she? What was her name? I think I remember.
Forgotten. I didn't know her too.
She was short, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember her.
But she was the sensible one of the family, I think.
Right. Well, as long as they've all done well, that's good. Yeah. That's good. Brill, Malk. So, right. Well, what we'll do is we'll get off air because obviously, if it's costing me by the minute, you know, I don't want to run into the thousands. But you've obviously been on TV plenty, so it doesn't bother you. Yeah. And then what we'll do is we'll glue this together now, and then you can go ahead and build it in the car. If you need a lift shuffling it into the back of the space where it lives, then just let me know because I'll come and you can star again.
Yeah.
And we'll see where you're up to because we put an engine in once at your place, haven't we?
Yeah.
Right.
Another G15, which is still going very well.
Oh, good. Is that if you still own that one? Is it sold?
No. I've still got that one. That has one of your lovely 1040 engines.
Yes, I know the one you mean.
And a Whedon gearbox. So.
Oh, it's all proper stuff when you do it.
Oh, yes.
No messing about. Yeah. No rocks left unturned.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Right, thanks for starring, Malk. We'll crack on with gluing this together. Okay, it's end of play for me. I'm on an early dart today on Wednesday. It's my son's birthday and we're taking him roller skating tonight. So I just thought I'd give you a quick update as where I got to with this engine. I've turned the big ends, so we've got the new ACL big ends there. I've got my new bolts there. My rods are outside, I just wire wheeled them. The crankshaft is in. The rear oil seal conversion is done. The only problem we've got, which I won't go into now, but we will tackle it tomorrow morning, is the crank has locked up. Now, in my earlier videos, you might remember I used to shrink the mains tunnel right down so we ran at 1 foul clearance, and it made them quite tight when they were at room temperature, but as soon as you put any heat into the block, it used to turn quite nicely. But I don't actually do that anymore. Since we've got the imps running with the water temperature at the correct area, we're able to just run with the sort of two and a bit thou clearance on the mains, and everything gets on absolutely fine. The bearings don't go wandering, everything's good as gold, as long as the racers. But we have got like a formula now for keeping the things cool, which consists of an enormous radiator, an enormous water pump, and everything else being correct. Anyway, we won't go into that now, but This doesn't go around, obviously, since I've torqued these 4 bolts, and there's a reason for that, and it's not the engine's fault. I will go into it tomorrow when I return in the morning, and we'll do a little talk about why the distortion in the mains tunnel has taken place. Anyway, I'm going to over and out for now, and we'll tackle that tomorrow morning. Okay, chaps, we're at the Hillman Club. It's Wednesday evening. This is John, Sir John. He's the one who organised the best international weekend that ever took place. Bernie, what are you doing here? You should be. Come on, mate, get them shackles on. You've got to be up early in the morning.
I'm going to bed now, honestly.
Oh yeah, good lad. And we've got Stewie and his very shiny Janetta. Look at that. Beautiful job. How are we doing, Stuart?
All right, thanks.
Racing at weekend?
Yeah. Good weekend, yeah.
Did you get a trophy?
I got 3rd overall.
Good lad.
Yeah.
Good lad.
So
with the boost leak?
I fixed that before the last race.
Oh, you fixed it for last race, did you?
Yeah.
Brucey.
Yeah.
Oh, well done, mate. Well done.
I got where I expected to get in the end. I got it in the end, you know.
Well, for Alton Park, I expect you to be winning again. Mate, I've got to move on. Husky. But what is this? Hello, Neil.
Hello.
How you doing? What is this piece of cheese here? A Citroen Amy. I'm loving the Jubilee clip holding the back up there. The door lock. Oh, hang on, let me turn it. Okay, Stuart very kindly sent me an in-car video from Silverstone. This is in his Rover Tomcat Turbo. Enjoy.
Just put every spark plug under the sun. It warns you there's a danger one with electric.
There we go. Look at that. Oh my God! It's left-hand drive as well. Oh, it's horrific. Oh my God. Aldrin, are you actually loving this thing? Yeah.
No video.
No video.
No video.
No video. No video. Just in case the police see it. Oh my God. It's a 2CV engine, is it? It looks like one, doesn't it?
Citroen Diane.
Citroen Diane. It's got inboard disc, Aldrin. Look at that. Thinks it's an Alfa Romeo. Look at that.
Saves a fortune on acid freezes.
It's got inner wings. Oh, the same guy who designed Bondi. Got the ugly stick on it. Wow.
No brake flashes.
No brake what?
No brake flexible hoses.
No brake hoses.
No flexies, just tightening.
Aldrin, she's a special vehicle. Lovely that, mate. Do you like it? Can we talk about it? How big's the engine, mate?
About that.
No, he's about 500cc or something.
6.3, 6.2, something like a 602. Citroen Diane one, apparently.
Wow. What year is it?
74.
74. It's in good nick, isn't it?
Yeah.
602, if I remember rightly.
602. John's an expert, aren't you, John, on everything. John, you know what it reminds me of? A Dodgem. You know a Dodgem? Look at the front of it. It's like a Dodgem, isn't it? Is this your new Husky, Bob?
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. Quite tidy, that, wasn't it? Got a G15 on the fire up. Very nice. Right, we'll leave these gentlemen in peace now. It's Thursday morning. It's a good news Thursday morning because I'm in one piece. I went roller skating, didn't fall over, didn't break anything, didn't go too fast, not as fast as I did when I was 13 years old, but I didn't crash, which was the main thing, which is a concern because being broken now would be no good for production. So, ready to get stuck in. It's Thursday morning, like I just said. I'm going to turn the camera around and we'll get looking at this. Yesterday, I said a statement, this engine wouldn't turn over because I torqued these 4 bolts down. These 2 were fine. These are UNC 7/16 UNC bolts. Obviously, when they change it to a UNF thread by putting a stud in, so it's UNC here, UNF here, if you think of it as being a finer pitch or a finer wedge, imagine kicking a wedge under a door. The finer the taper on the wedge, the more pressure you can apply. So it's a bit similar to the head bolts when we change them for UNF from UNC. It works out roughly about 36 foot-pound or 35 foot-pound. I did have it worked out by someone cleverer than me. It's the same clamping force as the original 40 foot-pound. Now, they still clamp to 40 foot-pound, no problem, and turn nicely. But the problem with this engine isn't the engine's fault. It's a humanoid error. And it's just how they were done back in the day. But to me, I would never machine a bearing cap. I'll tell you what, I'll take this off so you can see. Right. So what we've got is a main bearing cap that now turns, the crankshaft turns because there's no clamping force on here. And the problem we had was that since the engine was made, someone had put these spacer plate blocks on which transmitted the load into a big girdle plate which is sandwiched with these sump bolts around the outside. But what they'd done was they'd machined the cap to give you 3 points of contact. So instead of being the cap now being held on with the 2 original points, we had a 3rd point of contact, and you can just see a little witness mark there on the spacer block. But what that does, if you think in the factory these things were machined to within like a thou, or no, probably half a thou. They were the mains tunnel was at line board, and then obviously it was done in a stress state while the cap was torqued down. If we then later on add another contact point, it changes the shape of the mains tunnel, which means the crankshaft locks up basically. So this is an original cap before they get touched. So what I do now is, say if you use the Ian Carter style where they use a bolt and a nut and a washer, one holding it this way, and then you reverse the other one up to the spacer plate, which I prefer that job. Or I use the spacer block, but I machine the block to get the correct height and the right pinch rather than touching the cap. Because if you look, there is an air gap underneath the cap. In fact, this one is out of my spares box, but I can see that I've milled, because these faces are only quite rough. So I've milled it just to get a nice flat on it. And then what I've done is I've obviously put that on and machined the spacer block to the correct thickness to give us. I tend to try and give them about 10 thou over the sides here, if that makes sense. So the spacer block sits 10 thou higher, so when we clamp it all up, it's pushing on the middle main, like a preload, should we say, just to try and keep it all in the right position. Anyway, so what I'm going to do with this engine now, you see, I would never machine. As soon as you touch that skin, you weaken it. I mean, the mains caps aren't a problem on the imps. They don't generally split unless, I've seen it on Strokes engines a few times when they've missed gears and stuff and done big RPM, but never normally on an imp 1040cc do we ever see a problem with the mains cap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a linisher on the grinder and I'm going to relieve all of this till we make it low. I'll try and recreate that radius and make it nice again, so that when we put the block on and we torque it down, the block just pushes on these 2 outer contact points, and then hopefully I won't look a complete fool because we'll tighten it all down and the crankshaft will turn lovely. That's the plan anyway. Right, I'll crack on with doing it. Just relieve the tops of these caps with a soft pad as neatly as I could, just trying to reduce any stress areas or, you know, just radius it all nicely. And as a result, now when we put the spacer block on, it's back to its original 2 points of contact. You can see daylight for it basically. So it's just pushing on here and here. So what I'll do is I'll torque it up and fingers crossed the crankshaft will go round like it would have done originally in the factory. Try and show this one-handed. So we've got the torque set into 36 foot-pound. That one's that one. That one. That one. I've just done these. Oh, quite difficult to do one-handed. Hopefully, the crankshaft. Oh, she's beautiful. That's how the factory made her. Just turns lovely. You can feel a bit of stiction. It's not completely free like if it was an iron engine, where it had you know, the same growth expansion rate as the crankshaft. Obviously, I expect it to turn a lot nicer, but for an imp, that's just how we like them. That'd be brilliant. That's good oil pressure on this engine. Right, let's get the rods cleaned up, weighed, balanced, etc., and machine the pistons to height. Just plugging away at my imp engine, and I thought I'd make a little video about these slip rings that I should start making these and selling these for imp people that want to build their own engine, because it's an old imp liner. Obviously it was 72.5mm originally, so I bought it 73, and then I put a taper on, so it's much bigger here at the outside and very thin, quite thick at the bottom. And the idea is you basically put the piston in it and wiggle it down, and all the rings come in as it goes down the taper, so that when it comes to fitting the piston, it's dead easy. You just give it a gentle tap around the outside like that. Make sure it's hard against the liner. And then in theory, as you tap the piston, the transition's nice, you know. The danger is, the old school Jubilee clip type piston ring compressor was fine when you were using big old school rings, you know, like the oil control ring that was a big cast iron oil control ring, because it always fell in the groove. But when you're dealing with these little modern ring pack pistons, you see the oil control ring, it's like 3 pieces, like a blade and an expander. It's really easy when you squish it for one of them to get trapped and not be happy. Whereas obviously, because you're feeling it through the taper here, pushing it in gently, you can feel whether it's happy or not. And anyway, yeah, you get what I'm trying to say. So eventually I'm going to knock a load of these out, you know, 72.5, 73 and 74, and I'll sell them on the website so we can, you know, make it easier to build your own engine. Right, I'll crack on. Right, that's a good start to the day. Crank goes round lovely, pistons are in, and we've got a little bit more to do before dinner. Timing cover can go on, new chain, new tensioner. We've got no bungs in the engine because it was all blasted and clean, so we've got to put all the bungs back in. And then hopefully by early afternoon we'll be turning our attention to the cylinder head. We can crack on, get the cam, followers, try and get clearance on it. Maybe, being a bit brave saying this, maybe we'll even get the head on today. I doubt it, but we'll try. Anyway, we'll go and have a look for Bernie because I believe he's in the container somewhere. Unfortunately, Leafy Cheshire is experiencing some cloudy, wet weather. And another point that my mate Bernie's rocked in this morning. Good morning, Bernie. Thanks for coming to save the day. We've got a problem, haven't we, Bernie? We've got water droplets on the roof of the container, which was expected. It's raining inside. You brought the rain back from where was it? Port of Ventura. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Well, we'll get the fan on. Hopefully that'll sort it a bit. But I think we're going to have to run a dehumidifier in here permanently, you know, to keep the moisture levels low. Especially with all the electronics that are going in, Bernie. Look at that. Is that my new box?
Well, it's your new second-hand box, yeah.
New second-hand box?
Brand new second-hand box.
Mate, look at how clever Bernie is. Wow. Are they just lives and earths?
Yeah, just like that, yeah, just red and black. Yeah.
Red and black?
Red and black, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's clever, isn't he? He's on another level, this bloke. So, do you reckon by the end of the play today we'll have an extractor fan?
We'll have an extractor fan.
Oh my word. Yeah. Right. Well, I'll carry on building the engine and then I'll let you know when it's pie time, alright?
Very good. Yeah.
Top man. Thanks, Bernie. Hillman, it's dinner time. Unfortunately, we're not going in use today because it's raining. But, look what's rocked up. Energy may know Dr. Robert, Dr. Bob. Not Dr. Bob Allen, this is Dr. Bob Hawes. And then there's Aldrin, who's running off over there. Doesn't do cameras. Look at that. This is what we got on video last night. Oh, it's just as ugly as last night. This is going to be exciting, this is. What a machine. What do you think of that, Bob?
YouTubers.
What do you think of that, Bob? Have you been in it?
Love it, yes. Yeah, it's great.
You like that, dear?
Fantastic suspension. Dolly up, dolly down, dolly left, dolly right, dolly sick.
Right. Mate, I'm excited for a ride in this. Right, brilliant.
Yeah.
This is a true experience. How are you feeling about this, Bernie?
No seat belts.
No seatbelts. Perfect.
It's like in the 60s and 70s.
It's just got that lovely old sound, hasn't it?
It has, yeah.
You can see now why people rave about Hillman so much, can't you? You know, when you look at what was available in the 70s. And no disrespect to this, it's lovely in its own right. Oh mate, there's a speed camera at the bottom of here. 30 mile an hour. Yeah, just be careful. It's a long hill, so they hang around at the bottom.
Read Blackwood's.
Yeah, they'll just pull you over and give you a ticket. Aldrin very kindly, you need C6 tablets in this, don't you?
I did warn you.
Yeah, very kindly let me drive the Citroen Ami back from the pie shop. I'm not joking. It was an absolutely brilliant experience. I really enjoyed it. It's totally different. It's only got, how many, 28 horsepower?
28 horsepower.
It's a bit underpowered. It's not like a Hillman. And the gearbox is nothing like a Hillman. And it doesn't go on corners. But all the same, it is just a nice old thing, isn't it?
It's a lovely car to drive.
I can see.
Corners.
It floats like it's like a magic carpet without the magic. Yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool. Just check this dash out so we can get look at the gauges.
Yeah,
It's awesome, isn't it? It's like they were trying to be a bit space age of it. Do you think in the design?
yes. I mean, it's got a speedo, not that it moves.
No.
It's got a fuel gauge,
And
not that it moves.
I absolutely love. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see the Mr. Bean door locks? Mr. Bean had them on his Mini, didn't he?
Yeah, and padlocks.
Right, we'll stop going about it. We better do some work now, aren't we? Right, chaps, we've come back from dinner. Bob's come back with me. We're having a bit of a chat. Bob, you were a zoologist.
Yes.
And yeah, I knew I'd heard it at some point, yeah. So you know all about ecosystems.
Well, a little bit. Not
Right.
as much as an ecologist would, but yes, I have studied.
He's been educating me basically on how the bees love living in town because of all different flowers that flower all over the summer and things like that. But Bob, I'm going to try and teach you something now.
Yes.
Are you ready for this?
Go on then.
I've prepped it while you were talking without you realising. This is an in front cover and this is a in front oil seal, right?
Yes.
And I keep watching YouTube videos where people restore things and they put a new seal in a housing, but they do it dry. Now they do it dry because sometimes you push them in and then they slowly work their way back out again. You know, so, sorry, if they put grease on them, they sometimes work their way back out again. So I put grey glue because it acts as a lubricant, but also it helps keep it in position. Now, hopefully, no, I've got it skew whiffed. Cut. If we get it in, start it straight, I should be able to push that in just purely without, well, we might use a hammer at the very end just to make sure it's seated. But yeah, it goes all the way home without, sometimes if you're going dry, it like chases the rubber up to the end, you know, it acts like a barb. What's the word for it? It like broaches the seal. So there you go. That's how you put a seal in without cream cracking. Are you impressed? Did I teach you something?
Yes. I bought some grey glue.
Oh, have you?
Tricky thing to say, isn't it? On your recommendation, it's now part of my toolkit.
Excellent. Just the only thing is, make sure you use it because after 12 months it goes hard in the tube. That's very frustrating.
Is it? Yeah, that would be a tragic waste of money, wouldn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. So what I'm trying to say is, if it looks like you're not going to use it, bring it down here. I'll make use of it, and I'll put you in credit. Right. Cheers.
All right.
Morning. It's a bright early start on Friday. We didn't do a video at the end of play on Thursday. It was a bit of a disaster day. It did start off quite well. We got the bottom end together and then started on the head. Had some nice dinner, met up with Aldrin and Bob, and yeah, it was all going quite well. And then I hadn't been keeping an eye on my stock levels properly. We came to put the new cam carrier with the new camshaft. This is what we call a BJ68. This one's a little bit wilder, and it's on a 23.5mm base circle. It's done from a blank, basically. So this is where the problems start. I wanted to use a new cam carrier because we were trying to keep it as a new engine. So I've got the new followers, but I tend to buy the ones that they're about between 3 and 4/10 up on standard, and they just fit really snug in a worn carrier. So say like this one, they should go in this one, no problem. So they're quite snug. I can't get it out now, but yeah, they're snug in a worn carrier, but they won't go in a new one. So what I have to do is I have to order some more cam followers. So that sort of put that on hold. They'll be here tomorrow. It's not a big deal. They're just standard size replacement ones. Anyway, so I thought, right, let's tackle the noisy imp engine outside, the one that's in the little Mark 1 blue imp. So I went outside and I took the camshaft out of it. I listened to it. I put a stick on top of the engine to my ear, a wooden stick. I had a good listen. And it did sound like it was coming from the top end, to be honest. More so than the bottom end. So the thing about this noise on this imp is it stays the same whether the engine's hot or cold. In fact, you could probably say it's ever so slightly worse when it's hot, which tends to generally mean that it's not a piston noise. When you get a piston noise, because obviously the aluminium expands at a different rate to the steel, you get a noise when it's cold, when the piston's cold because it's shrunk, and as the piston gets hotter and grows greater than the bore, the clearance is took up. So quite often on our racers where the 4th thou clearance, that they'll rattle away when they're cold, but when they're warm, they're lovely and quiet. So it's not a piston noise, that I think, anyway. One thing I will say is, we do this, believe it or not, I mean, it's it's the same profile. It's a 68 rather than a 65, so the lobe separation angle between the two lobes is 1/2 degree closer, which is nothing, you know what I mean? But the actual profile of the cam is identical. The difference is, years ago, before we got blanks, what we used to do was we used to get an R23 camshaft and reprofile it. So you see this size, this side of the camshaft here, it's really small. That's about 20mm across. You know, if you were to get a vernier across there, it's about 20mm. Whereas this one's 23.5. You can see the ridge there. So it's a much bigger base circle. So it makes the cam look a lot bigger. You know, the camera doesn't show it particularly well, but yeah. So these are the same cam profile, slightly different cam, but same profile. And because this is on a small base circle, I do question whether that's the reason why it was making a noise, because it's a tappet ramp where it opens. It's quite aggressive. Now, I'm not that well up on camshafts to understand, but William was telling me the other day that even though it's the same profile, because it's on a different base circle, it will have different opening characteristics. Bob said to me it won't make any difference, but what will be a nice little test here is I'm going to put the modern blank with the full-size base circle, 23.5mm base circle, into the imp outside with another, not this carrier, with another carrier. Or we'll probably, might try and use that carrier. We'll sort something out. And what I'm going to do is I'll have a real idea then, because I know I've been using that car for dinner to go to work. I know exactly how it drives, so it'll be really interesting for me to dial this in at the same point, and we'll see how the car drives with a full base circle cam. Hopefully, the most important thing is it's quiet, because I have a customer very patiently waiting for me to fix this noise. So the engine is technically sold if we can shut it up. Right, so I'm going to stop waffling. We're going to leave all this for the time being, and we'll get on with putting the full base circle cam into the imp outside. Well, it's still very early. No one else has arrived at the workshop yet. It's, what time is it? Just before 8 o'clock. I've had a right good do. I've had a couple of hours on this. and I've managed to get the cam in, shimmed up. It's all, I've turned it over, it goes round. Everything seems good. I'm really hopeful that this is going to work. But if you look, what I've done is I've put a shim underneath the cam carrier to lift it up, because obviously on a bigger base circle now, it just kept the shims a lot closer rather than to completely re-shim it. I had a gap straight away. So yeah, I'm going to put the cam cover on and then we'll fire it up, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it's going to be quiet. If it's not, then I'm afraid it's going to have to be it is what it is job, because it isn't coming apart again. It's just fired up. It is an improvement, but I can still hear a clack, 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 clack. The top end is definitely audibly quieter, but it's not perfect. So let's see how it is when it warms. It might be a bit of piston slap that. Let's see if it gets any better when it's warm. Okay chaps, I just got back from giving it a good pasting down the lanes. Very pleasurable. Unfortunately though, I've completely failed to fix the problem. It must be a piston noise. I don't understand why, because it all measured up fine. It's there all the time, hot or cold. In fact, I'd say it's even more pronounced now that it's hot. It goes like an absolute scalding cat. It goes exactly the same as it went before, by the way. The cam made no difference to the way it runs at all. It's just got that. You hear it? It revs up beautifully. I don't know if I'm just being picky, you know. If I listened to that, I would just say there's nothing wrong with it at all. But yeah, where'd you go? What'd you do? Right, we're gonna have to put it to bed though. Can't spend any more time on it. It has to be a case of let's get on with some production. So there you go. The cam wasn't the issue, even though it was on a small base circle. I think potentially it's slightly quieter when it's cold, but when it's hot, it's definitely got the same little rattle to it. So I'll clear my messy oil up where it drips out when I was getting oil pressure up with the cam cover off. And I think I'm going to lock myself in the dyno and try and do a bit of wiring or something, because we can't do anything with that engine until the new cam folds around. What I just said about working in the dyno, I just thought to myself, I've got a list of jobs here that need to be tallied up. Like, one of them is to get this crankshaft in the post. It's just a standard crank for a chap called Ryan who's building his own engine. So I said, I sold him a 930 bottom end. I said, I'll post you a crankshaft. I'll just turn the scroll off to make it 3-inch. We've done this a million times before, so I won't go through it and bore you all, but I've given it a quick polish, been over it with a G-clamp, and it's bob on. It'll be a nice crank this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the 4-jaw chuck in now, spin it round, clock it up on the rear main, and then we'll plough through this, turn it into a 3-inch diameter, and then we can get that in the post. Another job done before we start playing in the dyno. Okay, just finished turning that crank, so that's now 3-inch. We'll get that WD-40 and packaged up, ready to go in the post. I've just thought of another job that needs doing. This is the silencer off the engine I'm building. We're going to chop the silencer because it's stuck on that slip joint there. I'm going to put it on the V-band one, just purely because it makes them so much easier to remove the silencer and give yourself access. Also, while we're there, we'll give all this a tidy up because it's rough as toast inside there. So we'll give them a nice polish, and we'll just probably put a bit of paint on it as well. So that should keep us busy until it's time to go for our early dinner stroke breakfast. Okay, a little bit of something different here. My pal's just popped in with a clutch cover, and it's catching in the bell housing, and we know why now, because we've put it on here and clocked it up, and it's just, who makes it, Nicholas? Is it Valio?
Yeah, it's French.
Yeah. It's just ever so slightly out. Like that, the taper's out on it. Yeah, you can see where it catches there. So we just set this up on the compound slide, and we're gonna just chase it over there. But Nick was just commenting on how cold my workshop was. even though it's nice outside.
It's lovely and sunny outside.
Yeah.
It's freezing in here.
Imagine in summertime, it might be toasty outside and a nice cool place to chill out inside here.
Yeah, stop your sandwiches going off.
Yeah, that'd be good. I don't eat sandwiches, I have pie, don't I? Every day.
You know, not every day.
Every day, mate. Well, this week
Pie
I've had to
every
graft.
day?
When I'm working normally, I have a pie every day, pie and tomatoes. Honestly,
Pie
it's the way forward.
The size of Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah, well, that's where I'm heading.
It is.
Anyway, the sun is out. Yeah, it's been a good day so far. So we'll get this rattled for you and I'll get stuck back into my dyno. So we'll just see how it cleans up. And can we talk about the Porsche engine coming for dynoing?
We can when you finish it. Yeah, as soon as the dyno's done, I'll bring
I've got
it down.
the flywheels here.
We'll load it on.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
See what she does.
Hopefully Bernie will have the fan wired up on Monday, so we'll be able to move forward a little bit. We've got the joiner coming next week to do the bulkhead. I've got a window organised.
I'm not too bothered about the bulkhead.
Well, it'd be good. We don't want to get deaf and full
I've
of
got air
fumes.
defenders.
Oh, you're old school,
I'll
aren't
bring it
you?
with the silencer on.
Okay, you're old school, Nick. Fair enough. I'll let you go with that. Right, let's crack on with this job. We can now see why you had an issue anyway, Nick. So it's definitely cleaned up more on one side than the other. Interesting, like you were saying, they had attempted to balance it out. Just might have been better if they cast it in half straight in the first place, but never mind. I think we'll call that job, mate. Look at that, a Nova boot. How special's that? That's one of Bob's customers, that. There you got a bit of footage of Bob there as well, rare footage. Come on, Jed, wind it up. Oh, we better do a quick update. I've been busy in the container. I've got the tank in now for the drainage, and I've repurposed that pipe that used to be the heater pipe in the old place. Just goes outside. The idea being that you get a lot of steam and vapour that comes out of the top of the aqua blast, especially when we had the heater on for blasting. So it's going to blow it outside rather than filling the place full of moisture. So it's 12:30. I've got to go shortly to go and get the Winklers because they're at like a school club. Not a school club, like a fun club, you know, for kids on holiday. So I've got to pick them up free. I thought I'd just have a cheeky half hour before I leave on Dougie's go-kart, because I've got the 4-jaw in the lathe from just doing my mate's clutch. What I can do is I can put this in the lathe. Now I've just drilled a hole there. That's to put a giant grub screw in. And then what we'll do is we'll take all this boss right down now. Doesn't need to be that thick. So we'll get this in the 4-jaw, clock it up, machine all it off, and then we can start doing a dry build. I've removed loads of weight out the front of this because it didn't need it. And then I thought to myself, if we tap it now, it's a 3/8 UNF tap because I've got some nice 3/8 UNF grub screws. We do it now, we can then leave a boss protruding for the thread and then cut it right back. Because if you look at the design of the axle, we've got a diameter there where it can go in, if that makes sense, you know, where the bolts are sticking out. So what we'll do is we'll make it fit inside there. And then, not thought about, yeah, we'll have to trim the grub screw as well possibly, but obviously we'll never get a start on the tap if we've got like a face, you know, a tapered off face there. So we'll tap it now, and then whatever we do, we can always get the grub screw in afterwards. In fact, it might be a good idea to put the grub screw in now. We'll do that. We'll put the grub screw in first, so all we've got to do, we'll stick it right into the hole. We can wind it back out again, and we haven't got to worry about starting it on half a thread. Right, hopefully you can understand what I was talking about now. I wanted to put a nice radius in that corner so that it just had a bit of strength basically. But there's a good 10mm of thread there, and it is 3/8 UNF, so we should get some good clamping force on the axle. Obviously we'll have to shorten the grub screw because it'll stick out and catch something, no doubt. But we'll take this over to the axle now and see. I've just offered it up so I can see how it's going to sit, and I've realised that the radius, I can't get it off now, it's clamped up, but a bit of heat that's transferred into the shaft. Anyway, This steel here, the radius underneath, is slightly less than 40mm, which is what that is. So it will go another couple of 3mm, which will get us right against there. Because obviously, looking at the go-kart, we've got to have room for him to sit in the middle. So I want it as far over this way as possible. Anyway, with just one little problem further along the line now. So I'm going to have to go and pick him up. So we'll call it a day for today. But we are in tomorrow, so Saturday we'll get a good early start again like today, and hopefully have another good day. Good morning, it's Saturday morning. Looks like we've got some wet stuff coming out of the sky. I believe it is going to clear up later today, so hopefully we can get outside and crack on with the dyno cell and do some work on that. But I thought we'll start by tidying up a few loose ends, because obviously I'm stagnated on that job because we need cam followers, so waiting for them to arrive. In the meantime, the carburetors are over here. We need to organise some shorter trumpets for them. They look like new Spanish carbs to me. So I'm hoping we can take them apart, give them a good airlining and brake cleaner and make sure there's no debris in there, and then they can go back together. And then what we'll do is we'll modify the manifold as well. That's all work that will help get that closer to where it needs to be. And then when the parts arrive, it should go together early next week and run. And hopefully I'll try and tie that in with dyno, being able to take an engine, and obviously the extractor fan being wired up by Bernie on Monday. Now this has been hanging around, and I blasted it the other day just so we could see the porosity. You can see little pinholes everywhere in the chamber. There's just chances of porosity, you know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get brave with the hurdy-gurdy, and I'm going to machine them all out, which might seem a little bit on the crazy side, but we've got to remove any chance of it being porous when we weld it. So I need to get, you see these big holes there, I need to get underneath them all just in case they track through to the coolant side, because he had a problem basically with cylinder pressure getting into the chamber, into the coolant jacket. So we need to get all the old repairs out of it and just start afresh. It's as simple as that. There's no way around it. That's what we've got to do. It's a very special rare head, so I'm very nervous about going near it, to be honest. I don't really want to even touch it, but I haven't got an option, and the way it is at the moment is it's useless, so we've got to do something with it regardless. I just need to find hopefully someone who can do some laser welding to repair it all so we don't put the heat into it. But we'll get the meat out of it first and see what we see. Right, I want to crack on. It's time for my first brew, and the rain has stopped and it looks like it's brightening up a little bit, which is good news. Now, Glenn, I hope you're watching, and I hope you're sitting comfortably and you've had a few beers, because I'm not proud of what I've had to do to your cylinder head. But we just have to remember at every stage of the anger that's going to run through your veins, I did this for the greater good. Okay, mate. I did try and just tickle round the seats where the porosity was. You know, I thought we can probably get away with it, you know, but then I thought, hang on, where are we going here? The head is an ornament as it stands. We can't just chase around the seats because the porosity had gone behind the seats. It's always been welded before it had the seats put in it. So I thought, to give it the best chance, we've got to get, you know, unturn every rock. So I took the seats out because they were aluminium bronze ones anyway. So realistically, we're better off on the modern type seat because it won't ever recess. You know, the unleaded type ones. The porosity in that corner, I do believe, went all the way back to the water jacket. Hence why I've gone all the way back to the water jacket. And I just took that seat out initially. And then I thought to myself, well, if we're taking one seat out, we've got to set it up on the newer machine to recut the hole for the seat, because when it gets welded, this will all be full of weld. And then I thought, if we're going to set it up to do one, we might as well set it up to do all 8. And then we can't have odd seats, so we might as well have a full set of seats in it. And then we can get all the valves a really good height, all uniform, and just give it the best chance ever. So what I'm going to do is, I've chased out the wheel string grooves. They were absolutely, I mean, you can just see there, I'm going to have to do that again. There's still a bit of porosity in that one there. It was full of like DevCon and putty and all sorts. You know, I can see the dust coming out of it. It really had been through the walls. It's like it'd been welded with like an aero bar or something, because, I mean, there was just holes everywhere. I had to keep on going. What we'll do is, we'll tell the welder, we'll give him a minimum thickness here, because when we recut the seats, we'll make it so that the valve, well, we'll make it so that we've got enough land basically to get the wheel spring groove on here. If we have to put smaller inlet valves in it, I think it'd be better to do that than to compromise the strength of the head where the wheel string sits. There's more there, I've got to do that as well. So we'll have to have another go at it yet. I've just blown it off of the airline for the first time. But you can see where the predicament I was in. You know, it's not like Glenn said to me, I've got 50p, I'm prepared to spend 75p. He said, just repair it, so it's good. So if we get it welded now, we know that we've gone under all the porosity. We're going to put new seats in it. It's got the best possible chance, because it's a proper head, this. It's a, you know, it should be absolutely awesome with that downdraft, and it's so rare. I think it's worth doing properly, you know, and putting the effort and the time into it. So there you go, chaps. That's the horrible part of the day over with. We've got that out of the way now. I can make a plan to get the welder man to look at it and see what he quotes us to repair it. And then we'll get it into Bob and get the seats cut and hopefully get it back together and get him on the track before summer's over. Little change of plan. Didn't really want to do this, take it apart with me engine and building next to me, but I'm going to just quickly whiz the head off this because my mate Colin, who was servicing the engine when he spotted it breathing, he could do with knowing what's happening with it. So I'm going to just quickly take the cylinder head off and see if we can understand why it's done a piston or whatever it's done. All will be revealed very shortly. Okay, just took the carburetors off, and there's nothing majorly alarming like wet exhaust ports with oil or anything like that. So hopefully this will be a straightforward fix, he says. But we'll reserve judgment, so we've got the head off. It looks okay at this stage, so we'll just see what happens. Right, pulled the head off this, and I'm a little bit confused. It doesn't appear to have any part of the piston missing, so we must have just got our wires crossed somewhere. I'm not quite sure where. And looking at the head, it appears to have been sealing perfectly, which is nice to see, because I've got to be honest, when I saw the temperature sticker off the scale, I thought, God, it's probably picked up at some point when it's been going up a hill or whatever, and it's had to work hard and nibbled the piston, done the head and done a wheel string. But that doesn't appear to be the case. This is one of me late, I didn't even realise, because my memories, I've done that many engines now. It's actually a proper engine, this. It's on what we call one of our earlier top hat liner engines, where I was trying to get the heat out the top of the cylinder, so we left them on a really thin liner, because I had this theory that if you think about it, you look at that liner and you think, crikey, that's thin, that might burst. But on a normal imp liner, that's how thick they are here, you know, between where they meet, where they're Siamese. So my theory being is, like, if it can cope with it being that thin there, it should be able to cope with it everywhere, which it does, to be fair. We've got a few racers that run like this. I have gone the other way now and gone with a fatter top hat liner, because it didn't seem to make any difference, although the theory was there to get the heat out the top of the chamber. But anyway, that was a long time ago. We keep moving, we keep evolving the job, that's the problem. But what I can see has happened is, he said he had a problem with compression on number one cylinder, and he also said he had a problem with the Strombergs and he'd had a twiddle with them. It looks like it's been running quite rich, and I can see a shadow mark in number one inlet pocket, and also like a tide mark on the valve there where it's just been kissing. And what that'll be is when they get too much fuel, like when they're on full choke, it washes the fuel out of the guide, you know, it washes the oil or lubrication out of the guide, and then it goes up the guide and the valve starts to stick. So we'll take the valves out and make sure they're not bent, and also we'll just give the guides a quick comb, make sure they've got plenty of clearance in them, and then maybe we'll put it back together, or we'll speak to the customer, because it might be worth at this stage, because Colin said it's breathing like mad, and I was like, it's a bit odd on these pistons, they're normally quite good. It doesn't appear to be losing any oil or anything, you know. But what we might do is take the pistons out and just have a right good inspection, check the ring gaps, etc., make sure everything is correct. Because, you know, while I've got the head off, get the sump off as well, it's like another half an hour's work, and we're in there, aren't we? So I'll speak to the customer and see what they want to do, but at least it's not completely cream crackered, which is a good thing. It's just, no doubt they'll want it back ASAP, and unfortunately I've got no space to fit it in because we've got so many other engines that need to be in the out tray. Anyway, we'll cross that bridge when we come. We've got Aaron from Alcoholics Anonymous. How you doing, Aaron?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Not
He's
bad.
He's brought a big lump of iron down to the workshop. Wow. Is this what you is this instead of like gym membership? You just carry these around?
Yeah, just carry this. Yeah, yeah. It's been kicking around for a while.
Has it? Right. Well, Aaron's come down and he's keen to go to the next stage. I've explained I've got no time, and he's explained he's got no money. So I said, right. Well, what we'll do is we'll set you the task of putting the crankshaft in.
Yeah,
we've had it ground. It's got some mains caps on it and it's got some bearings. And what we'll do is put the crank in, put the rod in, and then we'll get a piston out so we know what we're looking at when we go in Bob's Magic stores. These are a set of 86mm XE pistons, which luckily Bob did a lot of work on the 8-valve version of this engine, which is a flat top piston. So hopefully, if we can make this piston work, we can go to him and say, right, I think the code was C20NE, which was the 8-valve version of this XE version, red top engine. We'll get some flat top pistons. It's not the end of the world if we have to use cut-out pistons. Don't stress about it, because we're going to have an excess of compression because of the capacity increase, you see. Yeah. But it would be nice to have a flat top because it'd be correct then. So hopefully we can get it all to go around with them rods within that, you know, within that space. Because the standard stroke and the old pistons had a mega compression out of them, didn't they? Like 3 inches or something.
Yeah,
so
47 mil or something.
Right,
yeah.
cool. So we should hopefully have a few mil to play with. So what we'll do, we did get one of the Corvette pistons that was to go with the rod originally, just to see how it would fit if we could make it. But I think even for me, that's going to be a stretch, that, mate. We're probably going to have to stick to the 86mm. They're 99. So we'll do that, and then we'll see where we'll have a measure of it in a minute. All right, pal. How's life, by the way?
Yeah, busy.
Congratulations, you're in order.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. A boy or a girl?
Girl.
Girl.
Hell yeah.
Oh, bad luck, mate. Never mind.
You can't choose, can you?
Yeah, maybe next time you'll get a boy.
Yeah, no, there's not a next time.
No, mate.
No, it's
brilliant little girl. That'd be great. That you should be a proper daddy's girl.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
hopefully. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, so is it hard work, mate?
Yeah, it's hard work. It's tiring.
you got to get.
But I know if I say on here it's hard work, the missus will just go, it's bloody harder for me. So.
Yeah. No, mate. I've been there. All I can say is, when you get 2, it's not twice as hard. It's like 5 times as hard. So you just think carefully. When we had 1, the first 4 years, it's bliss. You're fighting over who's going to bath him and all that, you know. Yeah. And you get 2 and it's like, it's your turn. No, it's not, it's your turn. No, I'm really joking. Right, Brill. We'll crack on. Aaron, it's a good news day, mate. It's a really good news day. That is superb, that, mate. That couldn't have worked out better.
No.
It's a shame you've got to put the rod in from the sump end because it won't fit down the bore.
Yeah, but we'll sort that.
Yeah, we will. But once it's got its liners in, it'll be fine. Yeah. So Aaron's just quickly put the crankshaft in because obviously for those of you that weren't updated, the crankshaft journal was just over 2.1 inches, and these Chevy rods were 2.1. Was it? Was it 2? Oh my gosh, I've lost my thinking now.
8 weeks
yeah,
ago,
2.1 it was. So we had about 15, maybe 10, 15 thou took off each journal to make it run with the Chevy rod, which fits very snugly, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And he's put proper radiuses on your crankshaft for you, your iron crankshaft, I might add. Yeah. So we're probably going to have to limit it to sort of 7.5, 8, you know, just to try and keep all the bits inside the engine. So this is one of Bob's 86mm XE pistons with a 21mm pin, which is unfortunate because this is on a 22mm pin. So we'll have to rebush the rods to take that. But I've just spoke to him. He may have some 8-valve versions of these, which will be a flat top, which would be really ideal. But the compression height, which is, for those that don't know, it's from the centre line of the pin to the top of the piston crown, is 30mm. And that is, incidentally, what this piston is. So we just basically measured from there down to the pin, then added half the pin to give us the compression height. So that's really good. I thought we were going to be tight with that long rod.
So if we can get flat top pistons, we've cracked it, aren't we?
And
Oh,
just
yeah,
rebush the rod.
Rebush the rod. We'll send we won't get involved with the rods bushes ourselves because if you wanted me to do that, it'd be like flipping a day's labour, and you wouldn't want to pay that. We'll post them to someone who's far better than me at doing the job. He'll do them in half a day.
Right.
My mate Stuart at Rodwell, and he'll rebush them for you, no problem. And then
Brilliant.
when we get them back, we can get. Well, hopefully we'll have the liners in by then. But I'm going to need you to drop a head off if you don't mind, because then I can bung these holes. I'll get some cast iron. We might have to do 2 different sizes, and then there's a third size for that one. But it's important. We'll do it in cast iron. We could do it in steel. You know, just put steel grub screws in or threaded bar. But when you come to skim it or grind it, the dissimilar metals just do your head in, because it makes it not. If we do it in iron, when we skim it, it'll just be dead right. It'll look. You won't even see it. Yeah, you'll barely see the edge of the thread. So that's what we'll do. We'll do it on a fine thread. We'll do that one 3/8 UNF. And that one probably 5/16 UNF.
Why UNF and not MPT or BSF?
Does
it not need to be tapered?
Just because the finer the thread, the less the first start you'll see. That makes sense.
Right. Okay.
I just like UNF. I don't know why. I'm a bit weird, aren't we? We could do it M8, but
no.
M8. No, we'll measure the holes and see what we can tap into. You know, least disturbance to the block. Then we'll bore it, work out how big a top hat we can put in it for the liner. Looking in the hole here, not a great deal, but we'll put a hat on it of some type, or we can sit it on a shelf at the bottom. Say what we'll do, we'll look at the stroke and we'll look at where the piston comes to, because it may be better off leaving the top parallel and shelving it from the bottom. It all depends how much it's going to break through. I'd like it if we could break through absolute minimum, or when you're boring it changes tone when it gets to about 10-15 thou thickness.
Right, okay.
So yeah, if we can get away with just a skin liner of like 1 mil, but in ductile iron, that will be far superior to a 2 mil thicker liner that breaks through into the water. Right. Just try and keep it, like we've had a few of you've got followers, Aaron, by the way. You've got a strong following of 1725 nuts on the YouTube, and I've had loads of help off them. They've been good as gold, but they're basically saying to me that the limits of the block, there's a strength taking it out of it. To me, it looks strong as anything. I think it'd do 500 horsepower. It's absolutely manic, There's masses of material everywhere, so I don't see loads of issues with it. I just think if we can get the combustion chamber to seal properly, either via a Wills ring or whatever, or through a copper, not copper, through a bronze ring like they do on the. In fact, we'll get one of them now. I've got one. I'll show you. Right, this was one of my plans. If we can't get a Wills ring, would be the most ideal, and we'll radius the head like an imp. But if there's not enough, when you get the head here, if it ends up being a case of even by moving things a little bit each way, because we are going to be piston guided on the rod, if we can't do that, what we'll do is these are some rings that Baz, my mate Sean, or his dad Baz. We actually don't call him Barry, we call him Frank from Shameless, because he looks like Frank out of Shameless. But Frank made these rings for me for a Hart 420R engine I did for someone. And the way that worked was, it was alley block and alley head, but I couldn't believe how clever it was and how well it worked. What they did was, they put a groove around the top of the block for this to sit in. Yeah. So say that's 100 thou thick, the groove was say the groove was 96 thou deep. So this protruded 4 thou.
Yeah. And
then they just O-ringed all the waterways and just bolted the head on. And because this is alley bronze, it's a bit soft. And it was really, it was a nice uniform groove.
So there's no groove in the head as well?
No, the head was flat.
Right.
And then what happened was, round the outside of the this firing that was let into the block, there was a recess half the depth of the groove around the outside of it, with a telltale to the outside. So if any gases leaked past, they got caught in the channel and they came out the side of the block and you could see them visually. It was dead clever.
Right.
And I was like, well, it had come to me as a running engine, so I just copied it. I just put it back together again with new rings. But I was like, how does this even work? But it just works purely on that 4 thou pinch. That protrusion is enough to seal the chamber on an alley. Because it's got quite a good surface area, you know, it's an 8-foot inch thick or whatever, it did leave, you could see a witness mark. When you face plated the head, it had 4 little rings in it where they'd sank in.
Right.
But it worked. It worked.
And not much clamping force either.
Well, I think when you clamped the head to the block, when you torqued it down, it felt like you was just, you know, there was nothing was giving. It was like the head was hard against the block.
Right.
And just an element of distortion kept a preload on the ring, which kept the gases in the chamber. It didn't help that the chap that had it had the water pump impeller fall off after I rebuilt the engine, which was something a rocker hadn't unturned, should we say. Right. And it happened on the far side of Spa circuit, and he drove it back to the pits. But I don't think he fancied the walk. No. And one of my mates was a mechanic, and he said, you're probably watching this actually, my mate Tom, and he said, I said, how hot did it get, Tom? He said, well, we put the water in and about 3 seconds later it jumped out again. I was like, oh. Right, okay. But believe it or not, a head skim, and we checked the block over, made the new rings for it, and it was absolutely fine again. So there you go. Anyway, going down memory lane here. Right, we're going to crack on, let you get on with your day, because you probably... Oh, do you fancy some breakfast? Bob's on his way in.
Oh, might have to have some breakfast.
Oh, we're going JD's Cafe next, aren't we? Brilliant. Right, let's go and get some breakfast. Saturday afternoon, we've just got back from dinner. My mate, Clive. What was the best bit, the pie or the drive in the Imp?
The drive in the Imp.
Mate, she's a lady, isn't she?
Beautiful, beautiful. 100 horsepower.
Mate, were you impressed with how fast it was?
Yeah, we left an XR2 for dead.
But I didn't see the XR6.
No.
Oh, you imagined it?
Yeah, imagined it, yeah.
Oh, right, yeah. I thought it'd be the police.
No, it's great, yeah.
Mate, what is this you've brought down for me here?
Well, me and Alan Turner share this. That's my brother.
Yeah, I should put a snapshot of a picture of his boat race on.
Yeah,
it does look like Alan Turner, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's the one who came for pie with me, and he had the full breakfast and 2 pies in one sitting.
Yeah.
But
so, it's been stood for what, 15 years
15
apparently.
Years.
Yeah. We've put new fuel tank in it, fuel filters, injectors, plugs, and we still couldn't get it to run.
So you brought it all the way to Leafy, Cheshire, for the Imp man to look at it?
On the back of the truck.
Obviously on the back of the big Iveco truck there, BBR, that's you, isn't it?
Yeah, so so this expert,
yeah. Well, what happened was, I'll just take over, Clive, because we're talking about me and what I do. What happened was, Clive turned up with it, and I said, just try and start it. And as soon as he put the ignition on and the fuel pump primed, I heard the metering head go, like a screaming noise. Now, if you've ever worked around these, when they're on full bore, so when the air is going through that flap, that's the flap that measures the airflow. It just works off airflow. That there pushes a roller, and there's a plunger inside the Bosch K metering head there, and basically when you push it in, they go. So because I heard it do that when it was just cranking, I knew his plunger was stuck. So we've just literally sprayed it with a bit of WD-40 and given it a bit of a work in it, and we can see now that it's going backwards and forwards. So I take it was just Richard's sin when you put press plugs in it.
Yeah. And
just black smoking and being really rude.
Yeah, really. Yeah. Stunk of fuel. Yeah, it was bad.
Right. Well, I'm going to carry on messing around in the workshop. I'll let you put it back together, Clive, and then we'll see if we can get a tune out of it.
Yeah, we'll resume. Okay.
Resume. I like it. Okay, Clive's got it back together. He's just been showing me new water pump and timing belt, new fuel pump filters, new fuel tank.
Yeah.
It's going to fire up, mate. I'm confident. He's a runner, mate. Well, it's a bit missy, but it's a lot closer than it was. It sounds like it's lean. Yeah. That you, is it? If we use this tool here, just in case you ever come to tune one of them, this changes the ratio between the flap moving and the position of the plunger. That plunger that we had going backwards and forwards is mega sensitive, mate. So it's the opposite to a carburettor, so you screw it in to make it richer and you undo it to make it leaner. So it just drops in a little, well, not that I can find it now. Story of my life. Right, got it in the hole now, right. So you go that way to richen it and that way to weaken it.
Yeah.
So just have a play with it, but it sounds to me like it's lean on one pot, but it could be a tiny bit of muck from the old fuel, you know, what's been hanging around, just got stuck in the injector.
Right.
If you want to be really clever about it, take all 4 injectors out, put them into 4 pint glasses, and then turn the ignition on and pull the flap. And because it's Bosch K is constant, so it when the pump's on, that purple pump, that purple relay, take that out and put a yellow relay or just bridge the 2 main wires. That'll make the fuel pump run permanently.
Right.
So when it's got 60 psi coming to it from the pump, and you pull that flap, you'll see it squirt. You might find one of them's not squirting properly. I know they're brand new, but it's definitely lean on one pot. But if you make it rich across all of them, it comes onto all 4, you know.
Right, okay.
But you're a bit closer now anyway, mate.
Yeah, a lot closer, thank you. Thanks
You're
very much.
You're welcome, buddy. Okay, I thought we'd do a bit of an update before we clock out and do a bit on the Dougiebuggy. I've been trying to wire my dyno up. These are the wires from the roof. I've reconnected everything. There's the wires that go over the top there. Obviously, they're going to go into the control board that we used to have. This is just for the old dyno, nothing to do with the new dyno. It's just purely so we can actually get working and get some jobs in the out tray. Now, in the past, we have briefly touched on how this works. So that big IVC full of water comes into this big water wheel assembly here. This 24-volt motor turns this handle, and this handle adjusts the amount of water that goes into the dyno, effectively changing where the load point is. So the engine turns this shaft, and obviously the resistance on that shaft is then transmitted into a load, and that's done via this whole section in here is on bearings. So if I lean on it and pull it down, you can't really see the movement, but if you look at the dial, you'll see the dial is registering a torque figure. So that for example, is 47 foot-pound of torque, which is the equivalent of me getting a bar on a, you know, from say a socket on the centre of that diameter there and putting a bar on it, 47 foot-pound. So it's just measuring the torque at 1 revolution. So just thought I'd make a video about this because at the moment I've got the back off the machine because you have to put it in a certain position to make it travel. So when we had it in the back of the van on the forklift truck, you take all the weights off because they're really, really delicate. I'll probably have to restart the camera. It's all inside here. I'll just turn the camera back on with the flash on it. Right, we've got the flash on now. So I squeeze in here. Oh my goodness. You can see there's the old name tag off the side of it. I must have unscrewed that for some reason. So you can see all this. This is the arm that comes in that moves up and down with the torque of it all. And then we've got this setup here, which is a giant weight. If I pull down on this, you'll see how the whole mechanism moves. That comes through to here. It's got some real nice movement stuff, all to do with transmitting that small movement there into a gauge. So if I do that, you see it going around. It's got a little hydraulic suspension unit. It has also got a potentiometer in there, which isn't wired up. But yeah, what a lovely bit of kit, eh? Nothing to go wrong. Oh, I can see a problem. Look at that. That's no good. I wonder why it wasn't registering back at... It used to always register just over 2.5 when there was no load on it. And it was registering like 1.8 or something. I thought, what's changed? Something's changed. I bet that's it. Bet if we go around the front now, it'll be back where it used to be. That'll be good. I don't like change because I've never recalibrated this dyno from the first day I started work because... Oh, there you go. Look at that. She's back on 2.5. Brilliant. That's really pleasing. That means nothing's moved. So that when we start dynoing again, even though, you know, I'd not corrected or anything, I know what things do on what air pressure day and what temperature, what time of year. So I can, that's pleasing now. That's one good bit of good news, that. Right, I'll continue with my wiring anyway. I've done a bit of pipery. We've got a vacuum or a suction pump there, and we've got the drain out the back of the dyno going into there. So we are making progress, just very, very slow. Okay, we've got all that back together at the back now. I've got it to protect it, cover back on. This is going to be the feed pipe for the water. Before it does the main dyno, this is the heat exchange system for taking the heat out of the engine water. So it runs through that first, then it goes into the dyno. Now this is the return pipe here, or sorry, the feed pipe. That's going to go into here via some couplings that I've got. So we'll do that Monday because I'm that pleased. I know it sounds like a nothing, but the fact that my dyno returns to where it always used to return to, it means a lot to me, because it means that it'll be the same when we come to dyno. We'll get the same figures. That's good, that. So we're not going to be tricking ourselves thinking we've either lost power or gained power. It's just a comparison. Anyway, last half hour, I'm going to make a brew and start chopping Dougie's cart. Okay, we're in full chop shop mode. It's the last half hour of Saturday, and I've chopped that angled piece out there because the engine was going to get in the way. What I thought I'd do is join this piece, got some tube here, directly from there all the way to here, and that will give us something to brace our engine to and also put a bit of strength back in the chassis. And I thought it might do a nice crisscross. At this stage we're just tacking to see where things are. Well, when we've finished deciding where everything's got to be, I'll flat pad it all and do the weld properly, and then we'll paint it. But I just want to see where things lie at the moment. I've done, a measurement 38 inches from the centre line to here, and 38 inches from here to here. So it's bob on, ready for welding. I'm going to chop this now, get some weld in it, then we'll get it back in there and see if we can mount it. Right, she's tacked in place. I've eyeballed it as best I can, and it's pretty much as straight as I think I can make it. We've got the wheelbase bob on, matching each side, so it should in theory be straight. We'll get the crisscross in later for the seat. I'm just going to go in there now. I'm going to try and put the wheels on it, put some air in them on the floor so we can see where it sits off the ground, and then make a decision as to how low we can put the engine alongside there. It's going to sit in this area. Right, well, it's kind of taking shape, as in the wheelbase is just about okay. We'll be able to trim the arches a little bit. It is sat slightly further forward than it wants to be, but we have a big issue with the actual wheels sticking out far too much. We can sort that out in the offset of the wheel. I've just got to work out how, or perhaps I can look for some narrower wheels. I think that might be the other option. Fronts, we can turn them around and get them to be sort of inboard. We can sort that out. The new height for the steering column, we'll just notch this out so that it fits nicely around there, and maybe attach it somehow. Well, that's going to work perfectly. His steering wheel position and his seat is good. Inside here, we've got a good, what's that? It's a good 10 inches for the engine to sit. So I think the engine will be okay inside that little area. Unfortunately, I've completely run out of time, which is really frustrating for me, but there's not a lot I can do. Got to go home. So maybe Sunday night we'll come back and revisit this. We can trim all this off afterwards, or maybe make a little bumper to put, actually we've got the original bumper there. Maybe we could utilise that to protect it, in case he has a little shunt. Right, I'll drop it on the floor, see if we can work out where this engine's going to go. Oh dear, right, well, I'm glad it isn't finished welded, because I got that completely wrong. I'd been rushing, not thought about it. This bar to here is fine, but then we're going to have to chop it, and it's going to have to come in here, because there's too much sort of paraphernalia that's hanging out the bottom of there. It is going to sit low enough for the body shell. I'm pretty convinced of that, because when it's not stuck on the plugs, it sits right down like that, which will be fine. But at the moment, that's not going to work. So yeah, we'll have to cut this back out again, and then we'll move it over and put the bar in there, and then we've got half a chance. But yeah, it is progress. It's just, as you can see, the chain doesn't line up at all in that position. I should have slowed down and thought about what I was doing, but that's what happens when you rush. Anyway, that's it from me this week, because even if we make it in on Sunday night to do a bit on the go-kart and a bit of work, I won't be able to post it till next week. So thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed what you've seen, and I look forward to seeing you all next Sunday.
John Davies share, that's number 21 cut. That's the red machine alongside Kevin Swan. Watch for Simon Gustafson as well. Donington race winner overall, struggled in qualifying, only 17th on the grid. Watch for him coming through the field from towards the back. 15 minutes then for the Everard's pre-66 classic and historic touring cars, going all the way back to the dawn of the British Saloon Car Championship, about to get underway. Here we go, and a super start by Ian Thompson. Can he get through there in the Lotus Cortina? Not the best of getaways for Ed Gibbs. 5 wide in the pack. Look at this. Oh, goodness me, that was close. I thought we were going to have a pile up there towards the back of the field, but they've all managed to keep it going. It is Ian Thompson who has the lead in the Cortina. He's outpaced the Anglias off the line. Billy Keneally going with him. Everybody else trying to be third as they head through Charlie's Bend. It's Ed Gibbs who's in third place, then Jake and Kevin Swan 4th and 5th. They've got ahead of the smaller engined Imp of Brendan Rooney. Gary Preble's dropped back a bit. The Lotus Cortina's using their power off the line. Mike Davies in there in the first of the 2 minis. Martin Armstrong's green one, the second one. We haven't got Barry Syme, regular top mini, in his blue machine this weekend, unfortunately. Had a few problems at Donington Park at the season opener. And there's Gary Preble side by side with Martin Armstrong, throwing the mini around the outside. Pat Keneally's Lotus Cortina in that group as well. They sort themselves out around the first lap then. Running wide, Ed Gibbs nearly lost it. Jake Swan on his tail. Ford Anglias to the fore at the moment, along with Ian Thompson, who has the early lead in his Cortina. There's Peter Smith, number 712. If memory serves me correctly, Peter is the father of Guy Smith, the former Le Mans 24 Hours winner. Back of the field there's Charles Norris, the little A35, ahead of Jeremy Dias and David Ellis in their Imps. Here's the battle for the lead. Billy Keneally is not letting Ian Thompson get away. It's 3 line astern for third as well. Jake Swan's been able to get through ahead of Ed Gibbs after he ran wide coming out of the gooseneck onto the grass. There's Roger Stanford just ahead of Simon Gustafson, who's beginning his charge through the field after struggling in qualifying. Come round to complete the opening lap, and we've got a spinner. Oh, down into the back of one of the Lotus Cortinas, and that's Pat Keneally. He's not having a happy season, Pat Keneally. He's gone off at Hall Bends, and I imagine he'll be calling into the pits to check that rear end damage. Across the line goes Simon Farrow's Lotus Cortina, but it is Thompson who leads by 0.6 of a second as they completed lap number 1. But Billy Keneally is all over him like a rash as they come out of Charlie's there. Billy Keneally desperate for results. He's had endless engine problems with this Anglia over the last couple of seasons. One of the Imps pulling over as well. That is Jeremy Dias, the man from Bridgnorth in Shropshire, in the number 41. So he's pulled up on the run up to Coppice Corner. Peter Smith in the 712 having a go at Jake Swan and Ed Gibbs, the 2 Anglias. It was John Fitzpatrick who was British Saloon Car Champion in an Anglia in period in the 1960s, and they bounce off each other there. Excuse me, says Peter Smith. I'm playing Jim Clark or Graham Hill today at the wheel of the Lotus Cortina. Peter Arundel was another leading exponent in the Colin Chapman's homologation special back in the 60s. Well, John Love and Sir John Whitmore, they were the masters of the minis, along with Christabel Carlisle, the first lady driver to really make a mark in British saloon car racing. But today's Jim Clark is Ian Thompson. There he is, over the top at the mountain. Billy Keneally is playing John Fitzpatrick up there in second place. Swing their way through Hall Bends. There's Kevin Swan. There's the Mini. The bit of damage on the front of the Mini, I noticed there, of Martin Armstrong. Bit of damage to the right front corner. He's behind Roger Stanford. Brendan Rooney and Gary Preble have dropped back. Yeah, the Imps qualified well because of the wet conditions, but the less powerful machines now dropping back. It's the Cortinas and Anglias at the front. The yellow flag is out because of Jeremy Dias' stranded car, so no passing on the pit straight. Across the line they go. Gustafson in there behind Preble. He's up to 12th, having started back in 17th. Thompson leads by 0.8 of a second. Third place is Adam Cunnington, and he's done the fastest lap of the race with a 1:49.235. About 9 seconds slower than the Caterhams we saw in the previous race. There's Gustafson moving up on the Imps. He shouldn't have any problem drawing his way past Gary Preble and Brendan Rooney, and no problem at all. Straight past them on the outside on Park Straight. So the power advantage returning to the Cortinas here in the drier conditions. A little bit of smoke there out of the back of Gary Preble's. It's a new car for him this year. His father, Alan Preble, raced imps back in the day, which is what's attracted multiple Castle Combe saloon car champion Gary to race one this year. He's been pre-03 touring car champion a couple of times in a Honda Civic. Now chasing Brendan Rooney in the 91. There is the white Anglia of Kevin Swan, under fire from Martin Armstrong. That headlight's now fallen out of his Mini. It's a Mini Cyclops, the number 230. There's our leaders, and now Cunnington up into second place. On the tail of Ian Thompson. I didn't see Billy Keneally there as he had a problem with the Anglia. I didn't see him go through Hall Bends there. We'll pick that up if we can. Lock up there from Jake Swan. There's Ed Gibbs in the grey Anglia, but I don't see a blue Anglia. Has Billy Keneally had yet more gremlins with that car? Great shame if he has. Yep, he's not come over the start-finish line. That's a great shame. Billy Keneally looks like he's out of the race. May have pulled into the paddock at the mountain. Yellow flags are still out at, is that a safety car board I see? There was a board waving, yes, the pack's slowing down. I think the safety car's being scrambled. So maybe Billy Keneally has come to grief somewhere, because I think the safety car is being scrambled. It's not come up on the timing screen as yet, and somebody's lost it there coming out of Charlie's, I think. That was Kevin Swan. Nearly spun it. Ah, there's what's happened. Martin Armstrong's Mini has crashed out on Park Straight. So Ian Thompson will lead them away. I suspect we're going to see the two Cortinas pull away slightly on this restart. Here we go. We are back to green here at Cadwell Park. The Everard's Pre-66 Classic and Historic Touring cars get back underway. And away go the Lotus Cortinas. Jake Swan in third place, holding back Peter Smith and Roger Stanford, but it's Thompson who leads from Adam Cunnington into Charlie's Bend. What will be the final time, I think. Brendan Rooney, the leading Hillman imp. Jake Swan up there looking for an overall podium, if he can hold back the more powerful Cortinas behind him. Roger Stanford runs wide, gets two wheels onto the grass. Holds it together though, just ahead of, looks like Gustafsson in behind him now. Peter Smith all over the back of Jake Swan. The leading pair have been able to pull away. And there's Thompson ahead of Cunnington. Beautiful, immaculate Ford Anglia of Jake Swan in third place. There's Rooney leading the IMSO, and Ed Gibbs pulling up. Oh, what a shame. Started on the front row. It looks like the Anglia has hit problems. I think that's mechanical rather than sliding off there for Ed Gibbs. Just a few seconds left on the clock now. The midfielders come down into Mansfield Bend. Roger Stanford coming under fire from Simon Gustafsson, continuing his charge through, and of course this and a challenge on for the lead there from Adam Cunnington. He got through, but he slides wide as he held it together. Yes, he has. Well, what happened there? Adam Cunnington has thrown it past Ian Thompson for the lead. Well, I'd like to see a replay of that move if we can, because I don't know how he's got through there on the entrance to the mountain. That's very impressive from Adam Cunnington. He's going to snatch the win from Ian Thompson. Here they come, out of Barn Corner. Well, I suspected Thompson would pull away there, but I've been proven wrong, because Adam Cunnington comes in to take his first win at the wheel of his Lotus Cortina. Thompson second, and Jake Swan holds off Peter Smith for third. Stanford is next, and Gustafsson through from 17th on the grid to 6th. Brendan Rooney a class win in 7th, then Preble, Mike Davies and Simon Farrer rounds out the top 10. Well, that just proves you can't predict anything in motorsport. I was certain Ian Thompson was going to hang on there. How did Adam Cunnington get through there ahead of Ian Thompson? Cunnington, a newcomer to the championship this year. He has experience, as we said, in historic racing. This is his first year with the Lotus Cortina. Ian Thompson is a former champion. Jake Swan, a class win in Class C, and he holds off Peter Smith to take third place overall as well. Very impressive drive by Jake. Just a shame he lost the other Anglia there of Ed Gibbs. But Adam Cunnington is absolutely overjoyed. Great drive. His first year with the Classic Touring Car Racing Club. They'll do it all again in tomorrow's race. Original result then as follows. Cutting to the winner by 0.6 of a second ahead of Ian Thompson. Jake Swan in third, wins Class C. Fourth for Peter Smith ahead of Roger Stanford, who got the fastest lap with a 1:48.989. Simon Gustafson, a fine run through from 17th to 6th. Brendan Rooney won Class E ahead of Gary Preble. And Mike Davies in the Mini, second in Class in 9th. Then Simon Farrer, Steve Platts, Adrian Oliver, Charles Norris, the winner of Class D, and David Ellis in 14th place. Peter Wright was the other car.
Congratulations, YouTubers. You've made it to the end of Shrigleytube TV, episode 144. Appreciate you hanging in there. We just got the questions and answers to do, and then you can get your head down. Right, I'll crack on with these now. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next Sunday at 7. Bye for now. Okay, thanks again for all the questions and answers. All the questions, should I say. I'll try and answer them as quickly as I can, and we'll go on from there. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but the beauty of YouTubers, you can just forwards wind if you don't like what you're hearing. So I'll start with the first question from Raymond Payne, 9854. Is James going to be ready for Cadwell? Well, unfortunately, James has got some other things going on in his life at the moment. So we did have a chat about getting his engine ready, and he said, you know what, I'm not feeling it. Let's just get ready for Alton. So I said, right, cool. I'm cool with you're cool. So yeah, hopefully we'll see James out at Alton, but yeah, I'm not 100% sure he will be. We'll get his engine done and lend the ball's in his court, isn't it? He's got the choice, but we'll see what happens. Thanks for your comment. Lorenzo Amy 644. I have a Cherokee VM, not the most reliable engine. Cylinder heads can crack easily. I always let it run for a couple of minutes before shutting off, even after a small trip, till the temperature drops. I think it hates small trips as well, only reaching half the operating temperature. Interesting to see a smart man like you have an opinion on an engine. Good luck. Well, thanks for your comment and thanks for your kind words, Lorenzo. I mean, all I can say is, you know, the cylinder heads, if they're going to be a bad casting, I was kind of thinking that this was a later type engine with the VP44 electronic mechanical pump on it. It's got the later heads on it where they put an insert between the two valves that stops them from cracking, basically. So I was hoping it had late heads on it. When I had my Cherokee, the head did crack, and I put a replacement head that you bought off eBay at the time, and that fixed it. Now, I like the engine because it's a bit quirky, a bit like a Hillman, isn't it? If you look at the mains on it, the mains are in like a giant aluminium housing, and there's a great big tunnel through the block, and the crankshaft slides in it. It's quite an interesting engine, but I was stuck for an engine to put in my green van that's like 2.5 litre diesel 4-cylinder. I didn't want to go the electronic route, you know. I could have put a BMW engine in with a fly-by-wire system and a loom and all the rest of it. I wanted something that was on one wire to a solenoid on a diesel pump, about 2.5 litre with a turbocharger, and that engine with its rear wheel drive gearbox all complete just fitted the bill. So that's why I've gone that road. The only other engine I could think of that era is like either a Perkins, but they were just like massive iron everything and old school, or you know, banana engine 2.5 DI. Well, they were flat as the witches, and the turbo version wasn't much better. So no, I think we're gonna stick with the Jeep Cherokee engine that was from an actual Ford Scorpio and go with that. Thanks for your comment, much appreciated. Graham Crumpton. Thank you for the video, Andy. You're very welcome, Graham. You're a loyal watcher. I don't think you've ever missed one, have you? That still looks nice. Yes, it's a lovely car. I know that you checked, but listening from here to the 1040 Mark 1 sounds like big end knock. Please don't give up on the V8. It's definitely not big end, mate. The crank's like new on it. The bearings are new. The oil pressure's mint. It's just got a funky piston rattle. It's just something that I'm missing out on, which is embarrassing, but short of taking it apart again, I don't know where to go. I think, in hindsight, when we found a little end pin that shifted from side to side in the piston, I stopped measuring and looking because I thought, this is the knock. And obviously I made a spacer so the pin couldn't shuffle, but what I should have done was just measured everything a bit more detailed. But I thought I'd found the problem, so I gave up. I was like, oh, that's the problem, it's on early pistons, because the early pistons were like that. Anyway, You live and learn. It runs mint and it's staying together because it's so nice. I'll just keep using it to take me for dinner every day. That's fine. Thank you for your comment. Michael Bradbury. Be as deaf as a post in that container. Full tinnitus at the ready. I've already got tinnitus, mate, from standing in Bob's Dyno cell for years with no earmuffs on, so it won't affect me anymore. But I do wear ear defenders whenever I make any noise because my ears are very sensitive to. If I hit something with a hammer, my ears ring for days. So yeah, it's either that or stood by the speakers in Maxime's in Wigan years ago. I'm not sure what it was. Right. Thanks for your comment. Billy Wiz 98. That Vauxhall Forenza Droop's new estate is one of 204 made with a 2.3 slant engine and 5-speed ZF dogleg gearbox. He should do a video of the restoration. I had the infamous Stuart Hall's HPF Forenza. Well, Bob doesn't do videoing, unfortunately, but yeah, I think it'll be sold on in its current state. I don't think it'll go back together, I'll be honest. Bit of a shame, I know, but there's got to be someone out there that fancies a project. The hard work's been done. It's just that meticulous putting things back together. Everything that needs to go back on it is in a cardboard box looking scruffy. So there's a lot of work to do, but it would make a lovely car, and yeah, what a super car that'll be when it's done. Next, thanks for your comment. Colin Priest, S8S. That was a brilliant episode. Thanks, Andy. And Colin, have you got an Audi S8? That'd be good. I've got an Audi A8, but not an S8. Just wondering from your name there. Right, thanks for your comment. David Pilbeam, 3644. Andy, I assume Dougie will only ever do 10 miles per hour in the kart. Is that what you're telling your wife? Any boy that can make what he does out of Lego will have that up to 25 before he turns 7. Yeah, don't worry. We're going to restrict it, and I'm going to put a kill switch on a string so that I can hold the string. So say if we go to Alton Park Gold Cup and he wants to go and razz off, as soon as the string reaches its maximum length, it'll just kill the engine so he can't run into any trouble. Because although he's quite sensible, I have to remember he will only be 6 years old when he gets it, and 6-year-olds do crazy things, don't they? We don't want him getting hurt. Thanks for your comment. Hugh Millward, 705. Andy, thanks for showing the float heights. You're very welcome, Hugh. I hope that helped. My buddy from old times, Damien. Great mate, thanks Damien. Hope you're well. Hope you're on holiday again in Jersey, enjoying yourself. Hugh Millward, 705. Andy, I'm only part way through your video, but have you got the Webbers on the unit fitted with the Lorto ram pipes? I did this once and the chokes can rattle. Hugh Millward, 705, you are on it. Yes, you're absolutely right. It has got the wrong ram pipes on. It's got the Lorto ram pipes on a Weber carburetor. I did put my fingers in there. It's not the ram pipes rattling. They're tight in there for some reason. So thanks for the comment. Very, very good point, but that wasn't the issue. Christopher Cullen. Oh, this is Kit from Down Under. I've discovered that I can watch your video at 4:30 AM on Monday morning. I'm so excited. Next time I come, I hope to meet the A-team, Andy and Bernie, who keep the place running. I'm amazed at how much work you get done in a week. I'm not. To make the workflow better, the set out of the machines helps too. You're dead right, Kit. It's much better now, and it's also much easier to work there since you've educated me on cleaning the place. Now, I didn't clean the place on Friday because I was in a mad rush trying to get the dyno finished for Monday before Bernie came back to wire it. But I will clean it on Monday and make sure I do that. It's very good points what you've made to me. Helps. Could I have the name of the village where you go for the pies? Technically, it's a place called Winnington in Warrington. Could I technical tip for the week after weld repairs on the headers in place? Placed in the oven, I saw they would fit. Heat to 200 degrees C and hold for 2 hours. Turn off and let them cool down overnight. Stress relieved. Kit from Down Under. Yes, I've been educated on it before. I believe it's called precipitation, where you heat the aluminium head up for 2 hours or whatever, and you let it cool down over like a 24-hour period. I don't really understand this next bit, but my mate says it lets the copper and other metals in the aluminium go fluid, and then when they cool down, the head gets its hardness back. So thank you for that, brilliant. Look forward to seeing you soon, Kit. Just do me a favour, give us a buzz when you're coming next time, because I hate to miss you. Right, Martin Atchie. Black Sikaflex is horrible stuff to work with. Oh, black Sikaflex is horrible stuff to work with. Well done. Thank you for your comment. Yeah, it's not the best, is it? You get it in your fingers, it's on everything. You touch something, it's a nightmare to get off, especially when it's dried. John Moneycree 3034. Andy, to save taking the head off or even just the cam, get a straight wooden rod and use it like a stethoscope. With one end to your ear and the other, work it along the top of the cam cover and you should be all ready to identify where the error sound is coming from. Similarly, this can be done on the block if you think noise is low down. This tip was given to me by my pal's granddad, who was a Bentley works mechanic for the pre-war Bentley racing team. This was back in the 60s when we bought an old Javelin that needed a lot of TLC for the mechanics. The high temp sealer may need to heat to properly set. Yes, I think you're right, it did. It's set now. Great to see that the bills bench and upstand are finished. Tell Bob the meal he bought you is part way for storing his stiletto and making it roadworthy. None of the imp cramps need any further work than them coming from the factory, as quality is so good. Yes, I agree, the quality of the crankshaft is absolutely superb. When I take a standard crankshaft that's had a gentle life and put it on a balancer, there's a few different grades Bob calls of balancing, and it fits within the first two grades, no problem. It's just the finer tolerance, it won't quite make it. But we're talking like milligrams. He even said they are superb, which was his words, which is rare for Bob. Now, the comment about the stiletto, yeah, I'm selling that on Bob's behalf, but Bob always looks after me. You know, I have to be honest. I wouldn't have a business if it weren't for Bob, because before I started working for him back in 2007 or whatever, I was pretty clueless, but very clever, if that makes sense. In other words, I had an answer for everything, but knew nothing, which is not too far off where I am now, but I do owe Bob an awful lot. So thanks for your comment. There was another question up here, wasn't there? Oh, the wooden stick. I did the wooden stick. I got the screwdriver, I got the wooden stick. I used a steel crowbar and I went all the way along the engine. It's near number 4 end, and it sounded like it was coming from the cam box, not the block. When I put it on the block, then there was no noise from the block. It was just the cam box. Whether the cam box is thinner and allowed the noise to resonate through easier, I don't know, but we changed the cam and to no avail. Never mind. John Z7R8X, looking more like the old SH1T house every week. LOL. Yeah, I'm trying not to go there, mate. I'm trying my very, very best. Right, Barry Blackboard 6080. Andy, with the cart, you could cut that outer rail and drop the engine low into the space, then fabricate some flanges to bolt it to the chassis so it becomes part of the chassis itself, a bit like an F1 car having its engine form part of the chassis. Baz, I love that. I remember when they first started using the DFE engine as a stressed member, and then bolted the gearbox and the suspension at the back. We're not going to be quite that technical, mate, but I have took your advice and cut them bars out and lowered the engine down. You'll see in the video. Thank you for that. This is Andy Singer-Shammy. This is Andy the handyman. Can you fix the tiles, please, on your bench? It really annoys me. Edit. Andy sorted it halfway through the video. Much better. Well done. Andy, you're a funny guy. When you're coming back to do a bulkhead. Right. Have a great weekend, everybody. Or I hope you've had a great weekend, should I say. And I'll look forward to seeing you all next Sunday at 7. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.